Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. My name is John Shipley. I am your host and beat reporter, and I have been your beat reporter covering the Jacksonville Jaguars for On SI since August 2019, and we are continuing to march forward through yet another offseason together. As always, Jaguars On SI delivers you by far the best and most comprehensive coverage of the Jacksonville Jaguars that you will find anywhere, whether locally or even nationally. We provide double-digit pieces of content every single day, ranging from audio and video content to written content. And each day that the Miller Electric Center facility and Everbank Stadium have their doors open, we are there, boots on the ground. Whether it's at Jaguars practices, at training camp, in the locker room, at press conferences, during the offseason, such as the NFL draft, and especially Sundays on game day. We are always there to give you an inside look at your favorite NFL team. So don't forget that you can find us on social media such as Facebook and Twitter at Jaguars on SI. You can also find us at www.si.com/NFL/Jaguars. And never forget, all of our content is always 100% free for you, the faithful fans of Duval. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. My name is John Shipley, and I am here today to talk about a guy you don't see in many mocks for the Jaguars to the point where it's considered surprising when you do. None other than Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. Now, I'm not surprised you haven't seen him linked with the Jaguars in too many mock drafts, just because I think that how people on the outside view the Jacksonville Jaguars running back room, they probably view it as they have two guys. It's a strength. I'm not positive that's how it's viewed internally. I'm not positive that is how it should be viewed. I think the running game badly needs to take a step up. Whether that's scheme, offensive line, the running backs playing better, etc. I think it was all an issue the last two seasons. I don't think you can point to just one thing. They had a systematic issue running the ball. And Travis Etienne has produced before, a really good ball carrier and making players miss after contact or in space. I believe he led the NFL in forced missed tackles in 2023. Has had 1,000-yard seasons, has provided some value as a checkdown guy, but has also, if you're a team looking to establish a run during a game, he's been a bit hit or miss. You know, he will get 1 yard, 0 yards, and then break off a 10-yard run. I'm not sure if that's always as valuable as a guy who can consistently get you 3.5 yards, 4 yards, etc., and then break off the longer run. I think Etienne's a really good player, and I think with the right ecosystem in place for the running game, he can produce. But I also think running back might be a bigger priority or need than some people think. Tank Bigsby, I think, is another solid running back. I think he's can be like an ideal change of pace, bruising power back or running back in a tandem. Can he be the guy who carries a load from the first snap of the game to the last snap of the game? I think that's to be determined. He had a couple breakout games early in the year last year and then really slowed down. So I view the Jaguars as having serviceable and capable players at the running back position. But do they have the bona fide number one alpha male running back? I think that is what remains truly to be seen. So if you're the Jaguars and all the buzz when talking to people inside the building is how much the Jaguars want to establish the run this year to take pressure off of Trevor Lawrence. They've identified that as one of the biggest issues in the last 2 years. No run game. Trevor Lawrence had to do it all. Defenses didn't care about the running game. They schemed to stop the passing game, and they made things difficult on Trevor Lawrence as a result. Trevor Lawrence himself said after Doug Peterson was fired that the running game was probably the biggest issue on offense. So the Jaguars are clearly making this a priority, that they want to revive the running game. They want Liam Cohen to do for Jacksonville what he did for Tampa Bay, which was take one of the NFL's worst rushing offenses and turn it into one of the best ones. And it was truly a 180 for Tampa Bay. They were as bad, if not worse, at running the ball than Jacksonville in the last 2 seasons. And then last year, whether it's scheme, obviously adding Bucky Irving, Graham Barden, etc., Liam Cohen just made it work. And that run game completely exploded. And Cohen has told this story, and Robert Hainsey has told this story. Cohen went into Tampa Bay planning to run a lot of zone. And then he realized they were really blocking well on gap scheme. So that's what they went to, and they just dominated throughout the season. So Ashton Jeanty, an elite running back prospect. In terms of the last several years, I'd put him on the same tier as Bijan. I'd probably lean a little bit toward Bijan just as a prospect. But he's elite. I'd imagine there'll be double-digit teams that have Ashton Jeanty as their number one player on the board, best player in the draft. He won't be drafted like it because of the position he plays, but I still think he can reasonably go in the top 10. I think a lot of mocks accurately have him at number 6 to Las Vegas Raiders. Would the Jaguars be bold enough to use a number 5 pick on a running back? It would certainly change the offense. It would certainly take a lot off of Trevor Lawrence. But Cohen showed last year, he used the day 3 pick in Bucky Irving to change the rushing offense. I don't think you have to use a number 5 pick on a running back. I think that's a position where they can find talent, especially in this deep draft, to where it to me, doesn't make a lot of sense to take Jeanty number 5. But the need's there, the talent's there. I've said before, if he was the pick, it wouldn't be one I agree with, but I wouldn't be like falling out of my chair completely shocked about it.